It was said about this time, Deputy Minister Binetia. Now, Minister Binetia. And now, Director of Water Binetia. It me laku babet now. And then I expect to say Becca.
Save them.
Because
this man is too honest.
Save them, save them.
If you say me buy him. Me do him. Enough for him. Omo mudini kesi. Unto kanu kwe. When is the last time what me anya minister and deputy minister do?
They won't come.
And I do wait. It me say a penny for. Me say a penny for. O manu ebe. A GTL man woman yen say. MPP ni party a ebe to me among man a krabehe. But pesemin kuminya. Because Sebio president to any pabako. President no is one person. The vice president is one person. And a president needing to me no amani pa bebre. And then I am a person can you say if we manage well. Because you share about our government enlargement, you know. What I say? We need to cut a lot of waste. Now, and let's say, let's do it for Ghanaians to see. Say, you are cutting ministries, you know, at the above form. There are certain positions now because and then ministry politician member obeko, but the director no on the other so until say obeko pension. It is a minister we kwa or a minister for but director no so and a juma no so what ministries no more no a director no and a senior now so but minister there you are there to supervise. Now who go transit who to choir only director no so na eko. Enti yan to be come ministry miensa and money babako and control. Oh yeah mine. Nipa no uba no ye ni awu yuso and they are ma lankusa. Usi lankusa kwa fata wasa akoto lesos.
No police.
Nipa hweo. Omo mo de tumi ni maya no eni mo bia properties. Because baby awakoto asase no cantonment la boni no. Nipa na ye adwuma ho. Ontumi fancy ya dey kohe because Bible now can our 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 7 or see for we bring nothing into this world ya fashion ko munka hu owo soso ya dia enka en eba etaso hu se Yakupon de tumi no man no Yakupon no so ne besa boy ate because ya nyani yese na ye pa ka wo se umfa wundi obi nim kwa obi afa ne sika but o man no and here because we need to be a generational thinkers.
And that is their
going to Dubai to buy cars or window shop cars, you should know that place very, very well. It's a place where you have car dealers. It's like a car garage. You have hundreds of people who are selling cars there. Now, the National Ambulance Service issued a statement yesterday. It says, come to the attention of the National Ambulance Service, a viral video circulating on social media of an ambulance in Dubai belonging to the government of Ghana, which is purported to be sold in that country. We wish to state that one, the ambulance in question is one of the 26 Toyota Hiace ambulances being procured by the government through the Ministry of Health and being funded by the World Bank. So the National Ambulance Service, in fact, has claimed ownership of what you see in the video. So those who say that whatever is in the video is whatever, please, this is the National Ambulance. They have claimed ownership. This is one of the 26. Two, the said ambulance is found on the premises of a company which is manufacturing the ambulances. Mr. 3, it is therefore not true that the ambulance is there for sale. The manufacturing processes are over, and very soon the ambulances will be shipped into Ghana. We therefore entreat the general public to disregard the video in circulation and commentary made by the person who made the video. We are trying to speak with them. They say they will not speak beyond their press statement. Sly.
You can't speak. Randy.
Yes, sir.
People like this, they make our work very, very difficult.
Okay.
They make our work very difficult.
Sly.
Hmm.
You can't speak.
Randy.
Yes, sir.
People like this, they make our work very, very difficult.
Okay.
They make our work very difficult. I mean, what does he think? He's speaking to his children. Who signed that letter?
As Deputy Director Public Relations, Mr. Simon Yusuf Kewura. But my producer spoke with the head of the ambulance service when they were unable to get this person. And he says that we wanted an interview to seek clarification because this thing was a bit yo-yo for me. But they say that they will not speak beyond the statement.
Randy, it's so shameful.
So the statement is owned by the
It's so shameful.
service, yes.
By the service, I think that whichever ministry is over health ministry,
Yes.
the health minister, I'm not sure he's seen this. Because Randy, to say that is one of the 26 awaiting shipment to this country, the manufacturer, they are telling us the vehicle is found on the premises of the manufacturer. Is the manufacturer's premise, Randy, is the manufacturer's premise the car garage where many other cars are sold? Is that what they are saying? It doesn't sit well with me. And they must stop this. You've gone to order vehicles. And it means per this statement, they are aware of where the vehicle is currently located.
Yes.
That you've ordered vehicles, brand new vehicles to be ordered to you, to be shipped to you. And that they've taken the vehicle branded and exposed it to the world in an open garage market. The place is called Sharjah.
Yes.
In Dubai. Who doesn't know that place? Yes. So who are the manufacturers? And that is their warehouse. Every brand new car is kept in a warehouse. In this country, we are doing assembling. Toyota is doing assembling in this country. All the those assembling cars in this country, they don't put their brand new cars in the open garage by the roadside at Jowulu. So what kind of a childish statement is this? And this person is paid at the end of the month. And I will come and sit here in defense of government. This person who signed this statement is being paid at the end of the month with the taxpayers' money. He should be fired.
This is the information given him. Why do you blame him?
No, but you put this one there, you don't even ask.
No, that's the information given him.
Randy, don't you, can't you even think that this statement, that a manufacturer had manufactured a car for you, and if I were the minister, I would reject this car in the first place. You don't put a vehicle you've acquired, brand new vehicles. If me, I've ordered a vehicle from a manufacturer, and I go to Dubai and find that vehicle on the roadside, you think I'll take the vehicle? You think I'll take the vehicle? I mean, they should come again.
All right.
What is this?
Yes.
Randy, I am trying
And the second was, there was an energy sector.
Electricity supply. How were you guys able to sort that issue out? And can you just touch a bit on the economic impact it had?
Okay. We had an energy crisis, and it affected business and industry. And also, it was uncomfortable for residential consumers. And there were three facets to the energy crisis. One, we didn't have sufficient generation coming in because we hadn't developed additional power assets, over a period. And the economy was growing at an average of 6% per year. Demand was growing at about 8% per year. And so we were not keeping up. Previous governments had not put in enough generating assets, and it all crystallized at the time I came into office. Then the second was, there was an energy sector debt, because what we were doing was we were generating electricity at a certain price, but the tariffs that we were charging the consumers were lower than the cost of the power. And so it meant that the energy utility, which we call the Electricity Company of Ghana, which is your ESCOM here, could not collect sufficient money from tariffs to be able to pay for the power generated. So that was the next problem. Then the third problem was fuel and efficiency of generation. We're using light crude oil, which is very expensive. And so we needed to get a less expensive means of generation. So these were the three problems we faced. So first what we did was we put in emergency power. That led to a plant we call the Amery plant. It's a 250 megawatt plant. We had a shortfall. We estimated we had a shortfall of about 500 megawatts. And so we're shedding load of between 400 and 500 megawatts every night. So we brought in the Amery plant, which was 250 megawatts, and we brought a car power ship. There's a floating power plant. It's a barge.
Oh, wow.
And that brought in another 220 megawatts. And so between the two plants, as soon as we fired them up, we made up for the deficit. But of course, we had planned other, medium-term plants that were coming into operation. So those two plants, the emergency plants, covered the deficit. And so we were able to suspend the load shedding, the load management. Now, what we also did was we adjusted the tariffs in order to be able to make it more realistic to be able to pay for the power generated. So that was able to resolve that issue. Then the third thing we did was we introduced an energy sector levy to take care of the legacy debts. There were accumulated debts from the Volta River Authority, which is one of our major power generators, and then from the Electricity Company of Ghana. So we imposed a levy on petroleum products, and the money from there went into paying the debts that had accumulated. And so it made the energy sector breathe a little easier. And so those are the measures that we took.
Was there ever a discussion around whether or not that the electricity utility in Ghana should be privatized?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was not privatization in the true sense of the word. What happened was we had signed a compact with the US for $500 million injection into our energy sector to make it more efficient. And of course, one of the most inefficient parts of our energy value chain is the distributor, that is the Electricity Company of Ghana. And so part of the money was going there to revamp the Electricity Company of Ghana and hive off the billing aspects, that is the last mile aspect, that is service to the consumers, to a private concessionaire. But Electricity Company was still going to own some assets, including the transformers, the major transformers and all that. And so that was the plan. It's been implemented now, but there are still issues. We want to see how it will go forward. They've done the privatization or the concessioning. And so a company called Power Distribution Services, PDS, has taken over that function of ECG. And so we'll see how things go.
What's the solution? The long-term solution?
Well, they believe that the private sector would be able to collect...
What do you believe? What do you think the long-term solution is?
Well, I think that the private sector is capable of collecting the tariffs more efficiently.
A final one. I was watching one of your interviews where you were speaking about institutions and the role that they play in a democracy. And one of the questions was around the judges at the time were facing allegations of bribery, and you immediately kicked in and said, let there be an inquiry into this issue. Why was it so important, and do you at all think that these allegations may have been seen as a threat to democracy? Because this is at least one arm of the state.
We have three arms of the state: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. And the Constitution makes clear provisions as to what role each plays, and the issue about separation of powers and all that. Now, what had happened was one of our ace investigative journalists had carried through an investigation, and in that investigation, they had attempted to bribe judges dealing with particular cases, and they were filming them. And so there was clear video evidence of people accepting monies, and you could hear the discussion about the particular cases that they were trying to influence them with. And the Constitution says that if there are any allegations against judges, whoever is making the allegation must petition the president. And so this journalist petitioned me as president. And the Constitution also says what I should do if I receive such a petition. It says that I should refer the petition to the Chief Justice, and the Chief Justice shall empanel, an investigative committee to establish whether a prima facie case has been established against those against whom the allegations have been made. And so the Chief Justice looked at it and said, yes, there was a prima facie case. So then it went into a full-blown investigation, and the judges were given the opportunity to appear before the panel. They were questioned, interrogated, and eventually the panel gave its recommendations to the Chief Justice, who passed it on to the President. And in those cases, if you are found guilty, then the President can remove you from office. And so for those who were found guilty, I had the duty, constitutional duty, to remove them from...
Is that enough, though? That people who are entrusted with such a critical role of being the final arbiter in dispute would have accepted bribes, and the hiding that they get is you just removed from office?
Well, after they were removed from office, the dockets were sent to the Attorney General, but then we left office, and so I don't know really what has happened. But it doesn't end with removal from office. There is also the criminal liability. And so the Attorney General has the power to prosecute.
Did it scare you at all when you received this news of this is happening, when you even watched the documentary? Did it scare you that there's this critical institution that is being tampered with by people who have deep pockets?
There had been allegations about corruption in the judiciary, and people used to complain that judges were influenced to give judgments in favor of somebody because they had been influenced with some monetary consideration. And so those rumors existed. There was even a time where there was a bipartisan parliamentary inquiry into corruption in the judiciary. But nobody had ever come up with the kind of evidence that we saw in the video. And so it was shocking to the whole country, because now here was the evidence that judges could be bribed, to give judgments in a certain direction. And so it came as a shocker to everybody, even though there were rumors that, yes, there was corruption in the judiciary, but this was the first time that we were faced with that kind of evidence. But it's not the only sector where this particular journalist has done investigations. He did it in football, and the head of our GFA, Ghana Football Association, was indicted. He did it in the cocoa sector. There were people smuggling cocoa across our borders to the next country. And so he did an investigative piece. He did it with our customs officers who took bribes to reduce the duty and levies that they were supposed to charge on imports. And so he's done it in several sectors. And once he presents the evidence, then it's the duty of government to prosecute.
Next year when you run for the election, some are saying that probably the president is a bit too old to be rerunning for the elections. What's your take on this?
We have no age restriction in Ghana. I know some countries have, but we don't. As long as a person is healthy, he's agile, his thought processes are okay, I don't think there's a problem.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr.
All right.
President. And all
Thank
the best
you.
in the elections.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Wish
it.
me luck.
Must make sure that.
This is because it is an important link to what we call the Eastern Corridor, our border with Togo. This is because it is an important link to what we call the Eastern Corridor. As you are aware, we're constructing various sections of the Eastern Corridor, and the last segment left would run from Nakpanduri all the way to Kulungungu. And there will be a link between this road and the Eastern Corridor Road, so that for those in Boko who want to go down to the south, instead of driving 111 kilometers to Bolga before you use the Central Corridor, you will have another alternative of going through Garutimpani, through Nakpanduri, through Bimbila, through Agdabanko, Nkwanta, Hohoi, and through Esikuma, all the way to Tema Runabout. This is because it is an important link to what we call the Eastern Corridor. As you are aware, we're constructing various sections of the Eastern Corridor, and the last segment left would run from Nakpanduri all the way to Kulungungu. And there will be a link between this road and the Eastern Corridor Road, so that for those...
Away from that, let's swing straight to other issues relating to the presidency. And President John Dramani Mahama has injected confidence into the Ghanaian business community. Speaking at a section of business operators in Kumasi on Sunday, the president reiterated government's commitment to create the enabling environment to ensure businesses thrive.
Diversify the legs of the economy. We will continue to be import dependent. The forex value will be a matter that we are checking every day. But if we become a country that is export led with reduction in imports, we will not think about looking at the forex rate every day because the cedi will be stable. They're not going to import any of those electrical products anymore. Cables must be produced here. Transformers must be produced here. Meters must be produced here. Because our Ghanaian businessmen can set up those industries to produce those things. We already have them. We have tropical cable. Why do you go and bring cables from China? And they come and they're exploding every day and creating problems. And so there is a lot that we can do. Pharmaceutical industry. Ghana's pharmaceutical industry is growing, and government is supporting it to grow as part of the agenda for transformation. We've given 50 million Ghana cedis in assistance to pharmaceutical companies. What we need to do is to make sure that there's not excess liquidity, but that the money is going into productive things.
And clearly the president was speaking in the Ashanti region, and later today or in the next few minutes, he would be breaking ground for the reconstruction or redevelopment of the Kumasi Central Market. Our reporter William Evans Inkum has been monitoring the activities of the president since he got to the Ashanti region and would be joining us in a jiffy to give us an update of what the president has said so far. And I'm told that we've been joined on the line by William Evans Inkum, TV3's Ashanti regional correspondent. Good afternoon, Evans. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, Martin.
Great. Has the commencement begun? Has the president cut sort of broken ground for the redevelopment of the central market to begin?
Well, Martin, we're going to say that very soon. The president just arrived, and as I'm speaking to you now, the Ashanti regional minister is addressing the gathering. Martin, I must say that it's been a long journey to this point, something that a good number of people in the Ashanti region are waiting to see, redevelopment of the KJTR market. And I'm told that the first phase, which has just begun, because I've seen some level of engineering work ongoing even before the official commencement, and it's expected to last or span for a period of 24 months before the effect the second change, the second phase. That will be the Kumasi Central Market proper. That will, after 24 months, we're going to see commencement of the Kumasi Central Market proper. I'm talking about the project. So, Martin, that is it. We're expecting the president, after delivering or addressing the gathering, to officially cut sword for the official commencement of the project, Martin.
We know that over the few months that this issue has been back and forth, a number of market women and men were quite unhappy about it. What is their mood now that the president is getting ready to cut sword for the commencement?
Interesting, Martin. One would say the commencement of a project is another thing. The announcement of the project itself is also another issue altogether. When the project was announced, or when we hearing rumors way back in 2009 when part of the Kumasi Central Market was gutted by fire. I think if you know, or if you're hearing for the first time, well, that was the time a committee was set up, and as part of the recommendation, the Kumasi Central Market needed redevelopment, and at that point, a contractor from Brazil was contracted actually to see to the redevelopment of the Kumasi KJTR market. I think it sparked a lot of opposition as far as the settlers here were concerned. In fact, issues were raised as to how they were going to be relocated, as to how they're going to have a conducive market environment to transact their businesses. All these were some of the issues that were raised. And Martin, you could also recall that even in the wake of the demolition of the KJTR terminal, we also reported on opposition here and there. Press conference after press conference by the settlers talking about the need for the proper thing. If I say proper thing, I'm talking about the relocation process, because there are certain things that they weren't happy about. So they were saying that they need to be compensated very well to be able to ensure that they have a livelihood even after leaving Kumasi KJTR market. All these things were some of the concerns that were raised by the traders. But now I can tell you that it's a different picture altogether. I've cited a couple of them. They are here. I've spoken to them, and they are saying, why not? We were not just against the redevelopment of the Kumasi KJTR market, but we were appealing to the authority to ensure that the proper thing is done. I mean, if you are relocating us to different places, they need to ensure that they have enough facilities that will streamline or make their business work better. But I can tell you, they are happy. At least some of them who were involved in that opposition. Now, if you speak to them, it's another issue altogether, Martin.
Thank you very much, William Evans Inkum, with that comprehensive report. The president is about cutting sword for the commencement of that project in the Ashanti region.
The Deputy Minister Binetia. Now, Minister Binetia. Deputy Minister Binetia. Now, Minister Binetia. And now, Director of Water Binetia. It's me, Lakulaku Babetna. And then I'll expect to say,
Save them.
This man is too honest.
Save
them. Deputy Minister Binetia. Now, Minister Binetia. And now, Director of Water Binetia. It's me, Lakulaku Babetna. And then I'll expect to say,
Save them.
This man is too honest.
Save them, save them.
If you say him, me buy him. Me do him. Enough for him. When is the last time what me and minister and deputy minister do?
They won't come.
And I do wait. It me say a penny for. Me say a penny for. O man no ebe. ejidi a man wo ma yen say MPP ni party a ebetumi ama man na ye krabehwe but pese me nkuminya because sebio president o ani pa baako president no is one person the vice president is one person and a president needing to me it was a Kabadista deputy minister be netia na minister be netia ana director of what netia inti mi la kula ku ba betina